my health on the back burner a little bit. I guess now I've got myself sort of established a bit.
When did the penny drop for you that, hey, I need to prioritise my health? It's great to have business, family, provide, etc. But without my health, what's the point?
I'm looking in the mirror thinking like, fair income, mate, what is happening? It's no good. I just bit the bullet at that stage and just said, got to get it done. I need someone who can run me through it, get me on a good program, and get me doing the right stuff, basically.
The reason you look so good today and got there is because there are a lot of online coaches out there with great physiques, but most of them are on TRT. I'm doing this naturally at my age, 38. We've got clients in our late 40s that have done this naturally. People that are trying to build a metabolism, but they're drinking every Thursday night because it's payday, you just can't rebuild your metabolism.
I still go to the pub with my mates and stuff and sit there and I'll just have a soda water and I'm not missing out on my life or anything. I'm just making better decisions.
What was it for you that was like, all right, I'm going to drop the ego and actually just give it over to this particular coach?
I guess I had...
All right, so here we are doing an MPT podcast today at MPT HQ. You got that sorted there, boss?
Cool, mate.
Joined by MPT Rebuild success client Zane Murphy, all the way from Burnie, Tasmania, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, northwest coast of Tassie.
Yep. So you've flown in today, Burnie to Melbourne. They've left your fucking suitcase there, so you're suitcaseless.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
And then Melbourne to the Gold Coast, all in one day, which is pretty cool. And I guess, today I want to have a chat with you about your results with us, which were 21 kilos in total you've lost.
Yeah. 21 kilos of fat, yep.
21 kilos of fat in just over 6 months is what I'm going to kind of use as the term. But what's more interesting for me is that you're, a busy business owner with a big team. You told me earlier you've got 8 staff, was it?
Yep.
Eight staff. You've got 2 young kids. One's only bloody 30 months, did you say?
Yeah, 18 months.
18 months, sorry?
20 months old she is, and then a 3-year-old as well. So
3-year-old?
Yeah, she's full on, mate.
Yeah. So, you've got the classic trifecta of excuses.
Yeah,
you've got the family, the kids, and the business.
Yep.
And the last one is you've been fit and healthy before, so that's usually another excuse that people will kind of use not to do a rebuild or hire a coach. So I want to kind of pick your brain on how you've been able to make it all work, mate. So did you want to just kind of introduce yourself a little, where you're from, who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it,
Yeah,
etc.?
well, as you said, I'm Zane. I'm actually I live in Wynyard. It's a nice little coastal town on the northwest of Tassie, and live there with my young family, and I've sort of built a business up from scratch, basically, just with some young fellas that work for me. So and I guess as far as the rebuild goes, you just make it work. To me, it was something that I wanted to do, so you find a way to make it work. That's the thing, isn't it? It depends how hard you want to do it, really. You make it work, don't you? So as I said earlier, I get up nice and early. I don't like to train after work because I've got 2 young kids, mate. It's bath time, it's tea time,
it's dad time,
it's crazy time. It's crazy time in the house, and it's like I don't want to just leave the wife there and do that and go to the gym after work.
Peak hour.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I make sure I get up nice and early and get me work done. It's sort of my time. Do you know what I mean? It's quiet time. Sometimes I get up a bit earlier and just chill out for a bit, even before I go to the gym, mate. You just have a nice quiet house and enjoy yourself. And it's sort of I'm into the routine now. So I'm in bed nice and early, and I'm up nice and early, and it's
better all round for it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Make it work.
Yeah, and that's what we call it. We kind of say you're anchoring your day. So you're putting in the work before the work starts.
Yeah.
And that is the responsibility of a man, in my opinion. There are excuses, like you said.
Yeah.
But it just comes down to how bad you want it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it really is that kind of, you can compare it with running a business, because a lot of people go, it's good, must be nice, being a business owner and having money and all this kind of stuff, but they don't know what you did.
Oh, mate, it's crazy.
To get there.
Yeah, you hear that all the time, running a business, you're so lucky, you make good money and this and that, but it's especially at the start of running a business, it's brutal.
Oh, yeah.
It's it took me a long time. I worked probably 7 days a week for 5 years, I reckon. Best part of every day, just hammer and tong. So I did put my health on the back burner a little bit, and I guess now I've got myself sort of established a bit, and I've got a good team of guys that work with me, who I can rely on now. So it doesn't matter if I'm a bit late to work or if I stay home and have breakfast with the kids or something, and it's sort of the wheels keep turning. Do you know what I mean? So but it's taken a long time to get there. A long time, and a lot of hard work too. So
that's it.
But that's the rewards, isn't it? So
and that's the parallel between getting your health in order, or rebuilding, getting down to sub 10%, which we'll be showing a bunch of B-roll over the conversation here. So whenever you talk about your physique and your results, they'll be seeing it as you saw today in in the lighting. We've just finished our workout. We just trained back in traps on camera and kind of documented, I call them case studies, documented your success, what you ate, how it all went, the fact that you were skeptical at the start. Yeah. We've kind of already covered that. So there's kind of those common traits with building a business and then building the Dream Physique as well. But if anything, it's probably easier to build the Dream Physique than it is a business, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what goes into building a business.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty crazy, to be honest. And I went straight into it and really, was working for one of my good mates and was sort of doing a bit of business stuff with him as sort of like a half helping out running the stuff, but I still had no idea like the amount of work that it takes, sort of thing. And I'm sort of stuck in, a lot of business people talk about that sort of no man's land where I'm not real big. I haven't got people to do all my work for me. Some days I'm still out there on the tools, slugging it out with the boys, and then I've got to go home and then I've got to stay up late and do quotes and invoices and all that sort of stuff. So, so I'm sort of in that sort of thing, which it's a tough spot to be. It's a profitable spot to be. Yeah. So I don't have that many overheads. So I can keep pushing as hard as I can like that for sort of as long as I can until something breaks, I guess, but keep pushing along.
It's interesting because I'm in the same spot. I've been doing this for 7 years and we have probably one of the best online fitness brands for men to transform.
Yeah.
And I still do everyone's meal plan. Like I actually don't outsource that. I do that myself. I've got, 9 to get done before Monday. It's Friday today.
Yeah.
And some people are like, what are you doing? Why do you still do it? And it's about getting your knowledge good enough and really knowing that you've got a genuine point of difference in the marketplace. And for you, it would be about delivering an amazing service as well as a roofer. You don't want to, hire people too early at the expense of your name and the quality of service that you're delivering, I would assume.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm in that same boat.
It's hard to find good, like especially down in Tassie, it is really hard just to find really good quality employees. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's hard to find good workers anywhere, mate. It's hard up here too.
It's really hard too. It's so hard down there. But in the same token, I am of the belief that nothing good comes without a bit of sacrifice. So I don't mind knuckling down and sacrificing and putting in the hours and the work, and then like you don't feel guilty when you go and buy yourself a new car. Or, like,
exactly,
You've put it in.
Yeah.
Like no one can sit there and say, oh, you got lucky. It's like, mate, you have no clue.
That's it, man. I think sometimes the alternative is worse. Like you might be able to work less, but the quality is going to go down, and then long term, you're going to, your reputation goes in the toilet. People are like, what's the difference between you and the other guy? They start, questioning your quotes. They start questioning your business.
Yeah.
So the same with me. Like I want to keep the cordial strong, is what I say.
Yeah.
I don't want to offset it all to a co-coach. Like obviously I have a co-coach that does the check-ins and phone calls with you guys and helps me manage the questions in chats and things like that. And that's why they're called a co-coach. But I'm still doing the most important part. I'm still looking at the scan. I'm still looking at your lifestyle questionnaire, the times, the individual, and building that plan. Because to me, the alternative's worse. Like I actually enjoy doing it, which you probably do as well. You probably still enjoy some of the stuff you do in the business, not on the business. But to me, the alternative is I just become like everybody else who's just making money with no actual results.
Yeah.
I've always been like, if I can get really good results and be known for somebody that gets really amazing transformations, I talk about width and depth, meaning multiple, and there's 40 kilos, there's 30, there's 20 kilos like you, but there's also guys that are in their 40s, 50s, and 30s.
Yeah.
Across different industries. So I've got business owners like yourself, I've got accountants, I've got school teachers, I've got tradies, labourers, pilots, you fucking name it. And I just think sometimes that the alternative of outsourcing too early, when you've still got the love for it, is far worse than the 7-day work weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
That you and I have both done for a period of time.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%, mate. And it's just, for me, it also comes a bit of profitability about it. Like, I just know deep down, I could probably step back and not be on the tools and stuff now. But I just know how much more work we get done when I'm around. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's just a natural thing that
no one's going to do it as good as the owner, right?
I know, but even if I'm just there on site, I don't even really have to be doing a hell of a lot. Stuff still seems to happen a lot quicker. So it'll come in time. It's all about getting, like you said, getting good people in good spots and getting the right structure set up and stuff. But yeah, I am pretty lucky now that, like I said, I can doesn't matter if I'm a bit late to work. Do you know what I mean? If my workout runs over in the morning or something and I am a bit late, you know, I could get changed at the gym and go to work, but instead I go home and I spend a bit of time with the kids when they get up, have breakfast with them, you know, see the wife and then head off to work. And it's like my life is, it's pretty bloody good, to be honest.
Which is good, man. And you know, I heard you mention that you kind of let your health slide during that period of time where you were going all in on building the business, working 7 days a week and probably 10-hour days, no doubt, and doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
When did the penny kind of drop for you that you needed to get on top of your health and you needed to quit that kind of no man's land, like you said, that roller coaster of training hard for 8 weeks at BFT, losing 10, 15 kilos on the scale, and then lapsing back again.
Yeah.
Then you went and did high rocks, then you went and did this and that and all the rest of it. When did the penny drop for you that, hey, I need to prioritize my health? It's great to have business, family, provide, etc. But without my health, what's the point?
Yeah, it's just I was just sort of having a bit of self-reflection and just thinking about where I wanted to, like who I wanted to be and where I wanted to get to, and I can't in my head picture of like a successful sort of wealthy entrepreneur sort of like. I don't think I've ever seen a big fat unhealthy one. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just not.
Or if you did, they didn't live for long enough for you to remember them.
That's what I mean. If you got your shit together, and to me, that's just one thing that sort of was in my mind, and I'm just like, if I'm going to be, what is the whole point of like working my guts out for all this time, and you know, having this nice house and all this sort of stuff, if I look and just feel like shit all the time, I don't even want to, like I'm looking in the mirror thinking like, fair dinkum, mate, like what is happening here? It's no good. So, and I just, like I said, I just bit the bullet at that stage and just said, got to get it done. And the thing with your, like the Instagram ads and stuff that were coming up, some of the stuff that you were saying was just the stuff that spins through my head. Do you know what I mean? Like some of those things were just resonating. And then even after I'd signed up, these things are still coming up. And I'm like, I felt like sending you an inbox saying, mate, just give it a spell. I've signed up, mate. I don't need to hear this stuff.
It just blocked me, bro.
Honestly, it was the stuff, all the excuses that you're talking about, all the things that you've tried, or all the stuff that's sort of going through your mind and all that. I've literally been in all those situations, and it resonates with all the like experiences that I've had around my yo-yo dieting all the way along. So yeah. And I mean, the only reason that I know this so well is because I've coached thousands of you blokes. Yeah,
you know, so when I'm able to articulate exactly what's going on in your head and all the things that you've tried and how that makes you feel, I know that through years and years and years of speaking to guys that have been doing that and failed. Yeah. Which is interesting. So, explain, if you don't mind, and you can be as blunt as possible. So you kind of were having those reflections yourself. You saw my ad, and you see my ad a lot because I spend a lot of money on marketing. We are in an attention economy now. So if I don't have people's attention on my ads, then I don't exist. Yeah. It's just that simple. So that's why you see me so much, because I spend an offensive amount of money each week on ads to, kick you guys in the ass to do what you know you need to do in the first place. What was it about, like, that ad, that timing, that kind of got you in? Because like we established before, you were already very athletic, very good at football, great physique, great genetics, already have a ton of muscle. You've lost weight multiple times in the past. What was it for you that was like, all right, I'm going to drop the ego maybe, or the whatever it is, and actually just give it over to this particular coach and let him fucking...
Yeah, so I guess I had, because I'd been playing footy all the time in my life, I had always been concentrating on being like aerobically fit and trying to get really like sort of light and run all the time, because like I played AFL sort of Australian rules footy, so it's a lot about running, covering the ground, you know what I mean? But I was at the stage where I'd sort of not playing anymore, so I thought, I'll get into some weights, and what I could do is just do weights and just be consistent with it, just to not to go crazy or anything. And then your ad just popped up, and I was like, yep, that's what I need. I need like a coach. I need someone who can run me through it, get me on a good program and that sort of stuff, and get me doing the right stuff, basically. And then your ad just, I don't know. I think sometimes they know what you're thinking about. Like the algorithms they do nail it sometimes.
Potentially.
I think. They do. Hey, something's going on there, mate. They nail it a lot. So I don't know whether, but it popped up, and I just reached out, and then it was all pretty fast from there. I think 3 days later, I was she was day one, and I was scrounging around to try and get all
scans over and
get
forms filled out.
Them and all my Supps and get everything organised. And yeah, it was a bit of a shit show for the first couple of days. But once I got it nailed down, I've been basically locked in ever since. Steak every night since 7 months or something.
Yeah, I think you signed up on a Thursday and we started you the following Monday.
Yep.
Like 4 days away.
Yep. Straight.
Which is good, like the saying I use is strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Motivation can be fleeting, it can be up and down. So use that spark and then turn it into discipline, and habits.
Yeah.
Is the idea. But with you, so let's talk about your first experience. So you're contemplating it. You saw my ad. I said all the right stuff. I believe I say no cardio in most of my ads. So that probably jumped out at you as well. And stuck in no man's land. You've tried keto fasting, man shakes, blah, 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 but it never seems to work for you, right? That's my ad.
Yeah.
You've done that. You've signed up. We got you started from Monday. What happened from there? Like first week, was it easy? Was it hard? Second week, how much did you lose? Where was your thinking at?
Yeah. So first week, it's pretty hard. Like the first and second week is a bit of it's a transition. Like it's a bit of a struggle. You're hungry. It's the calories are down a bit. Like in your first, before you start building them up, do you know what I mean? They're trying to strip away a lot of the junk that you've just got like sitting on top. So we sort of, calories are pretty low. So yeah, it's a fair old struggle for the first couple of weeks. You're in the gym doing workouts that you're not familiar with basically, and you're getting sore and that sort of stuff. So it's not easy at the start, but after that, you get through that first stage. You first rise in when they start lifting your cows up a little bit in your diet, and it's just like you feel like it's like Christmas, mate. And I was thinking, as soon as these cows go up, I'm going to stop losing weight, and I just started dropping even more weight. Yeah, and I was like, how's this work? Like, that can't be right. And then they lifted them again, and then it's like it went again, and I was like, I'm glad I signed up here, but I don't know how it works, to be honest, but
I'll explain it. But before you were mentioning that you still didn't have full buy-in, so you're like, I'm going to do his weights, I'm going to eat his meal plan, but I'm still going to do a bit of cardio.
I still, like I said, I've always bought into that sort of, I'm a big bodied sort of heavy set, fat sort of guy. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like one of
mesomorph, they call it.
That's what they call it. Like I'm one of them. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm going to be doing this, I'm thinking in my own mind, these guys don't understand that I'm a mesomorph. I'm one of these big guys. I need the cardio to strip weight. And then it wasn't until I really stopped doing the cardio. Even now, when I do some, I feel like it actually takes away from how lean I look.
Feel soft.
Yeah, you feel soft, and it's like the cardio is not the answer to getting to look the way you want to look.
Yeah.
But I'm also a big believer in there's no point in me looking like this if I'm not cardio, like a bit. I want to be reasonably fit too. Do you know what I mean? Like actually have some cardiovascular fitness and not just be like look really good, but then run down the beach and like blow up. Like
I think you'll find that you actually are quite cardio fit from doing weights though.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have lost any cardio doing this method.
I do that, yeah. Every now and then when I do it, like it's crazy how much benefit. Never trained legs before ever. Always had these big solid, like big calves, sort of solid legs.
Yeah.
So just never ever trained them. And then after doing a few leg sessions, just doing the odd cardio bit here and there, it's like how much better your legs feel just from having that bit of strength, like that bit of extra strength in them. It's mental. Like I wish I had have trained legs all my life, but.
Well, imagine how big they'd be if you did.
I know, that's maybe why.
You'd be having chafage, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe that you were telling me earlier that you, for the first month, you were adding cardio in as well.
Yeah.
And then you went back to footy because the mates were like, come on, mate, let's go play footy.
Yeah, you're getting fit.
And then you tore your hamstring. So you couldn't do cardio. You literally had to follow my weights program. And then you noticed that you lost fat faster when you dropped the cardio.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, mate. Like I literally had to have, so what have I think 7 or 8 months I've been going, and they were the only couple of sessions that I missed, I think, when I got injured in the gym, and had a few days off, and then absolutely no cardio for a few weeks, and then I was just dropping even more weight. And like the fat was just falling off.
Yeah.
And I was feeling like I was waking up in the morning feeling like
harder,
tight and hard and like lean. That it's like that's a part of what I get addicted to is you go to bed and that feeling when you wake up, you've had a good training session, and you first thing in the morning when you're like nice and dried out and you're like and you got a little bit of stiffness left in you, and you get up and you're like, oh, that's a good feeling. That's what
addictive.
You want yeah, it's addictive, mate.
Yeah, I agree.
Go and check the mirror and see how you've been traveling.
That's it. Yeah. And that's where we have these sayings inside the group, like compliance is the science. Like we know what we're doing. I've obsessed over this for decades. And I've optimized this for naturals as well. Like that's a big thing, I think, that separates us in the industry is like there are a lot of online coaches out there with great physiques, but most of them are on TRT or as a minimum.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing this naturally at my age, 38. We've got clients in our late 40s that have done this naturally, put on muscle, lost fat. So it's a very specific system, which is actually what most people want, but they don't realize it. So a lot of people are getting their advice from the wrong areas, which is just interesting. So we've got that saying, compliance is the science, and trust the process. And it's funny with you, like when you started trusting the process, your results kind of skyrocketed.
Yeah.
You know, you lost, how much did you lose in your first 100-day rebuild?
So I was around 12.8 or something, I think. Yeah.
12.8, which is insane. Like that's over a kilo a week.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a lot. Like people go, a kilo a week, whatever. That's, you know.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think even for myself, as the rebuild went further along, I started to get a bit more knowledge about a kilo a week is crazy, mate. Like even just 500 grams a week is actually really good. So that's, I think, where your mindset starts to change. And then you think it's actually like about longevity, this thing. It's not happening. It's not about trying to drop 20 kilos in
it's not
12
the biggest
weeks,
loser.
which is what I've done in the past, man. I've done some crazy stuff, like just not eating for like long periods of time. Just have an apple a day for like a week just to get into shape for footy and just everything just about trying to get
weight off.
Just the number on the scale, mate. I don't care. I didn't care where it was coming from, so I just tried to get the number off. So but obviously now it's just like I said. The hardest part for me was trying not to do more, to train, because I couldn't get my head around. Yeah. How can I only be doing that and get into
you've really got to look after your body and let your body work for you. And most people are working against their body. Like life's hard enough, mate. Running a business and being on the tools and having young kids, like that's hard enough. You don't need to be stressing the shit out of your central nervous system and hormones by crushing yourself to death with cardio. You know,
and like I said, I'm a roofer, so being on site a bit, it's a physically hard job. So I'm already burning like a lot of stuff throughout the week. So
you throw cardio on top of that, mate, and you are overdoing it. Yep. Whereas obviously resistance training, it helps your hormones, it helps rebuild muscle, it helps build your metabolic capacity is what I call it, which is basically your metabolism, how well your body handles food. And that's kind of the secret. And, you know, just to touch real quickly on what you're saying about how we start calories low and we build them up, there's a couple of reasons that works. It's basically reverse dieting, which I learned in my bodybuilding times when I was doing bodybuilding, except there was the opposite. With bodybuilding, you'd start 6 months out on 4,000 calories and you'd eventually just chip away at them until you were 6% and bone dry for stage. Yeah. You might get down to 16, 18, 2,000, depending on the person. And then the best way to do it is to slowly increase those calories back up so you don't gain a ton of fat. Yeah. That's called reverse dieting in natural bodybuilding or even bodybuilding circles. But what we did is we just flipped the script and started people low. And because you're progressing in the gym each week and you're getting stronger and you're looking after basic things, hydration, stress management, sleep, like the basic lifestyle stuff, getting stronger each week, focusing on progressive overload with a proper program, not just winging it, your body's able to handle extra calories each week. As you're almost like stoking the fire, you're kind of like fueling the engine, if that makes sense. So that's how we've done it. And, you know, like you, I don't know your exact numbers, but we're able to get your calories up quite high while you lost your first 12.8. And then to get your last 8.1 or whatever it was, you know, there was a combination of still increasing, but then cutting it. We cut 400 in this last week and you just tightened up like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. That's what I was saying before. I can sort of feel the science in it when build the muscle, the metabolism was obviously doing what it was doing, working really well. And then as soon as we took that little bit out, the difference was just like, it was crazy. Day one, the next day, it was almost like I could feel my skin like itching, like I could feel it like draining out of me as I was going. Like it was, woke up literally the very next day and it was just mental. Like,
I think it was a kilo, 1.4 kilos?
Yeah, 1.4 kilos overnight.
Yeah. So you're holding a bit of water, but I think
a lot of the water, like it just...
Was that because had you smashed cardio or had you been camping or something? I think CJ said you went camping.
That was about 3 weeks beforehand. But I even when I went camping, I found a gym that I could sign up to online casually and still got my sessions in. Like when I say camping, this is a big caravan with a ensuite and a kitchen and everything in it. So we took everything down in whatever I needed to in the freezer and had stayed very compliant with my with my meals and stuff. But yeah, obviously, I was sort of lounging around, not being active and stuff over the thing. But I laid back for a bit and tried to get a suntan for the cameras down there today. So spent a bit of time down there. It was good. Yeah, good just to get away and relax. But that drop, I just couldn't believe it. Like how quickly. I guess because we're just been getting them up and keeping them up for a fair period of time. Like even if which the coaches are really good for me, because in my mind I'm like, let's cut them. I want to get ripped. Let's cut them. And they're pushing back, saying, no, mate, stay where you are. Don't panic. It's going to come. And then, I'd stay there and I'm like, this is bullshit, mate. And then another week goes by and then all of a sudden you get a nice big drop and then it keeps moving along. But you keep the calories up so your metabolism's still working for you. So, it was. And then as soon as we flipped the switch and took a bit out, how it just worked.
Oh, it was amazing. Just the flat photos first thing in the morning, no pump, no lighting, no nothing. It was just like insane. Yeah. And it's because you'd been patient building the foundation, and again, if I go back to natural bodybuilding, they say that the comps are won in the off season. The guys that build their calories up and put on a bit of extra fluff and really get their metabolisms cranking are the ones can get down super shredded lean versus the guys that want to cut early. And it's the same with my clients to a lesser degree. Obviously, you're not quite stage ready, but you look phenomenal. Like the reason you look so good today and got there is because we spent that time building calories. Yeah. Otherwise, you would never have got there. Like how many times did you try to get there on your own? By crushing yourself.
100%.
In the first 12 weeks, you lost more, but it was weight. You damaged your metabolism. All too hard, too stressful. Cortisol levels are up. Testosterone's down. You're like, fuck this. I'll just go back to the normal. And then you go and do it again in another 6 months' time. Like it's just that.
Yeah, I've done it 1,000 times, man. But even
it's like I said,
I've looked back on some of the old challenge photos and even at my fittest and stuff. And I've got one photo, I think, from when I was about 25 when I was trying out for this like recruit show that was on TV, and I'd got myself as fit as I'd ever been, I reckon. And I still reckon I look better now.
Yeah, like 10 years later.
And I'm like, would have been 25, 26 then, and now I'm 36. It's 10 years later, and I reckon, that was probably the best I'd ever been in back then. And I reckon now I've just got it covered, I reckon. So,
which is impressive,
crazy.
Man.
Yeah, at 36, that's funny.
I never get sick of saying you're the oldest you've been and you're in the best shape of your life. Yeah. Like it's just something that a lot of people our age just don't think is possible. We most people think, you hit 30 and it's all downhill. You better get on TRT. Your dick stops working. Yeah. You can't build muscle now, or people are just
it's
insane.
Well, the age is not. For me, it's like because all the stuff we're doing, even with the recovery and stuff, I don't feel like I'm almost 40-year-old man in the gym. Like I'm not, like I said to you earlier on, I'm not getting sore from the workouts. It's actually like you wake up a bit stiff in the morning and it's a good feeling because you're like, I've really pushed the limits.
It's a good sore. It's a muscle sore, not joints and stuff.
It's just that little bit of stiffness and that you feel. It's like a sign that your muscles are growing. Like it's good to get that, but you don't get it every day because I feel like all the sort of the supplements and the hydration and that for your muscles and the carbohydrates that are in the diet. Like it's not as if they're stripped. Like we're not stripping everything back. No. I was right up until we come into this show. Like I was full. Do you know what I mean? Like I had lots of water on me. My muscles were all full. Like and I think all that stuff helps with your recovery and all that sort of stuff. So you're not. Yeah. I don't. Like I said, I don't feel like a 40-year-old man in the gym. That's some frail thing that's getting sore from bloody everything I do. Like I'm flying at the moment in there. So
that's amazing, man. And that's the thing. You're working with your body. You're looking after your body, so your body looks how you want it to look, basically.
Yeah.
Just quickly on that metabolism thing too, just for the viewers that don't know much about the rebuild, the other two important things that will speed up a metabolism, which a lot of people don't want to do, especially in Australia, is cutting the booze. Yep. Alcohol does slow down a metabolism. If you don't believe me, go to the pub and have a look at the age of the people that are in there. Do they look that age or do they look younger? Tell me, right? There's proof. I mean, alcohol is, and I don't mind a drink on the odd occasion either. So I'm not, talking down my nose at alcohol, but it's essentially fermented fruits, right? So it's kind of like poison, really. And it gives you a buzz for a reason. And the body has to work quite hard and stop working at other things to get the alcohol out of your system.
Yep.
So up to 4 days, they say that protein synthesis, which means muscle building, and fat loss, fat oxidation, are retarded, which means they're slowed down to a percentage. We don't know because genetics is different. for up to 4 days. So people that are trying to build a metabolism, right, and fix their damaged metabolism, but they're drinking every Thursday night because it's payday, or they're drinking every Saturday afternoon because the sports are on, or Sunday because it's the recharge day.
UFC's on Sundays.
You just can't rebuild your metabolism. No. So that's another thing I just want to be very upfront with. You didn't have a drink, or you might have had one in the full period?
I won the grand final in footy, so I had a couple after that, just because.
What, one drink out of
we're talking
150 days?
Yeah, 7 or 8 months, yeah.
Like nuts. So really, one.
Yeah. But I mean, that only really,
couple of beers is a bit different after a footy game.
Yeah, I didn't even drink beers. I wouldn't.
Okay.
I checked the calories on everything, and I got myself some special little these vodka water cans or something.
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah. Spritzers, as they call them.
And they were no flavour, no nothing. There was like, I got the least amount of calorie ones that I could get, and just had a few of them. Like just didn't want to do too much damage at the time, but I sort of thought, wow.
Yeah. And
it's also hard to, like, this thing is the rebuild thing, but it's also, for me, it was sort of, I wanted to get the best results that I could, but I also wanted to not, like, you don't want to make it too much like a challenge. So it's almost like, do you know what I mean? I sort of got to this point now where I'm at, and it's almost, I've got, say, 6 or 8 weeks left, and I want to try and start, like, doing it like my lifestyle, and just let's try and work out a way that my lifestyle is going to be able to maintain exactly what I've got now and where I want to be, and the things that I can do and can't do, and like you said, I'm rebuilt now, and I might want to have a drink here and there, and just going about it the right way, making sure, do you know what I mean, not getting out of control like I used to be, drinking, stopping in at the pub on the way home and drinking. Do you know what there's a limit there where you have
10 beers, yeah.
There's a limit there where you have 2. You can have 1 or 2, but if you get to 3 or 4, then we'd be having 8 or 10. You know what I mean? Because it's your decision making and stuff, mate. It just goes out the window.
It does,
yeah. So don't want to be like that. And I haven't lost. Like, I still go to the pub with my mates and stuff, and sit there, and I'll just have a soda water and just chew the fat with them and say good day and talk shit and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not missing out on my life or anything. I'm just making better decisions, and I wake up the next day and I feel like fresh as a daisy, and I'm at the gym early, and because it's the first thing to go. Like, you're hungover, mate. What goes? Like, your diet goes straight out the window for me. It was the biggest thing. I would discomfort eat. Like, I'd be feeling shit, dusty, and I'd be like, that chicken burger at Smoko is going to make me feel better. And then like lunchtime, I'm having something else, and then I'm missing like 2 days of training or something, and then it just snowballs into.
You've just lost your momentum.
That's what I mean. It snowballs into all of a sudden. Yeah, you're back to like where you started, basically. Like,
you
for sure. Some serious damage in 5 days, like with how much shit you're putting in. So,
and that's how most people live their life. They're good from Monday to Thursday, and then temptation comes, and they're starting fresh next Monday.
Yeah,
and it's a never-ending fucking circle. Yeah. But just back on that alcohol really quickly, I think also it's much easier knowing that you can give it up for a period of time, rebuild your metabolism, get your fat down, and look how you are, and then know that you can introduce it back in after you rebuilt.
Yeah.
So that's the important thing that I want to mention, like, because I can drink and eat pretty loosely at 38 and still maintain a pretty fucking decent physique because I'm rebuilt, right? I kind of have done it right. And now you have as well, and a lot of our clients have done it. You've gotten your metabolism firing. So if you execute 80-20 of what you've learned through the lifestyle upgrade stuff that we teach you, eating whole foods and looking after your protein when you've got so much muscle, hydrating, keeping the supplements up, sleep, stress, etc., then you can maintain that result with 80-20. And you can introduce those things back knowing that it's not going to cost you fucking 20 kilos.
Yeah. It's 20 kilos a lot though, isn't it? Like,
it is.
Thinking back, I'm like, how do you let it get that far?
How did you walk around with that on you? Yeah.
But even for the alcohol for me, like, you have a big night on the piss and then you wake up the next day and you're so dehydrated and you probably have skipped a meal or something, and then you look in the mirror and you're like, it's also like, your rig almost feels like it's a bit better, but you've just done so much damage to it. And then you go and you think you can have a meal, and it's like, it's all just these games in your head that you're just making excuses for yourself, and you're letting yourself off the hook and getting away with it. So
yeah, for sure.
A big thing for me was like the body scans, just knowing exactly what's going on with me. Like, I hadn't really had them up till we did this, and then just find, like, obviously having the coaches sort of explain it to me and say, like, this is how much body fat you got, mate. This is how much muscle you've got, like, all that. This is, and just sort of really realising, like, I was just fat as a house, really, wasn't I?
Yeah. It also helps keep you on track, But when you go and get it after your 12 weeks and you see on paper, as well as on the scale and in the mirror, how many kilos of fat you've lost, and then how many's left before you've hit that 10% mark, that elite 1% of the population mark, it's really good to realign your goals, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes, like we said before, motivation is fleeting. It's discipline is the word that, keeps you going. But you're disciplined with your business. So it's like, fuck, how disciplined can one bloke be?
Yeah.
So you need constant injections of motivation. And I think the scan is definitely one way of doing it. I've dangled a nice carrot. Hey, come and film with me on YouTube. Make your rebuild eternal so you can show your kids when they're old enough, and you can even remind yourself. Like if you ever do get back 5-10 kilos and out of hand, you can watch this YouTube video that we just filmed and see your abs there and all the definition that we just saw there and go, fuck, bro, what are you doing? You're better than this. And you can draw on that motivation to get yourself back into shape.
Yeah.
So it is important to have those motivational steps along the way, which I think you've just mentioned is the scan.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do it too. Like it's the same in business, mate. Like some days you just get tired and you can't be bothered with it, but you've got to find some external sort of motivation from somewhere. So it doesn't matter where it comes from. Like and for me, I'm just such a competitive person. Like I'm always competing with something. It's something or someone in my own mind. So I get that in my head, and that's what that's this sort of external motivation that just helps you ticking over.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you said this, come and do this video and stuff, that was like, I've been locked in. Like really locked in on this for since we sort of come into that. So just don't know. I would have liked to have just keep cutting down just to see where I can get, but I'm just getting carried away. I think
how much leaner do you want to get than you are?
I don't know.
You saw the fucking footage today, mate. Come on.
I don't know.
You were grabbing this little tiny bit of skin you had on your stomach underneath your six-pack going, oh, what about this?
I used to sit there and go like that.
You would have been able to grab a meat pie, mate.
I could literally
family pie.
Yeah, it was disgusting, man. Once I started getting those, like I said, I started looking in the mirror and I was getting those lines under my, like I was starting to get tits like under there. And I've always had sort of like a pretty reasonable chest. I did a lot of push-ups and stuff like training in footy. So it's always sort of been sort of my go-to. That's always been there for me. And then once that started going, like getting these little lines and that, I was just looking in the mirror thinking, it's time.
How does your chest wrap around to your back, bro? What's that? Like,
that's what
how does that connect?
Start tucking them under your arms and stuff. I'm like,
that's insane.
I've got to do something here. So
yeah, we'll move more into your business in a moment, and we'll kind of drop all your handles and websites and stuff like that for anyone who's in Tassie and needs their roofs looked at. But one more thing I want to mention with that metabolism, because I just want to give the viewers the full context. No alcohol is the best way for a metabolism to rebuild. The other thing is what you eat. So there's this big trend, thanks to a very famous influencer who's doing fantastic financially, about all you need to be is in a calorie deficit, right? And that's true at the top of the common sense surface level. The analogy I use, it's like saying to be a better swimmer, you need to get in the water. What next?
Yeah.
Like that's how I equate that. So anyway, he's done very well. Good for him. Congratulations. But it's left a lot of people with enough knowledge to be dangerous to themselves. And then they just think, I'll just eat less and move more, and I'll just look amazing. And it's just not the case, especially not to this level, right? I rebuild men. I don't work with women. So women maybe can get away with that. But men who want to get to 10% and be the top 1% in elite shape, it's a bit more than that. So with you, the other reason and the other way that we rebuild a metabolism is we're looking after your protein, grams per kilo of muscle mass. So again, the fitness industry will talk about grams per kilo of body weight. We had this conversation before.
Yeah.
You're 92 kilos. There's not too many people that weigh 92 kilos in the Australian population that look like you.
Yeah.
They have a lot less muscle and a lot more fat. So you and those people don't need the same protein. If you've got 30 kilos more muscle than someone who's the same weight as you, weight is not the determining factor that determines protein. You need more than what they need. So making sure your protein is adequate is another way to help with your metabolism, but it's also what you're eating. Not all calories are created equally. So you're part of our system, but what you ate is whole foods, mostly whole foods. Yep. So we're talking steak, chicken, we had eggs for you, we had yogurt, we had fruits, we had juices, we had vegetables. We had a super green supplement and electrolytes powder as well, just to top all that in. And it's eating the same foods as well. So you didn't eat 2 of the same meal in a day, but every day looked the same. So in the morning for you, you had powders and shakes and juices and things to fuel your workout. Breakfast, you had a protein, yogurt, fruit, honey, and oatmeal smoothie. Smoko, you had eggs in a wrap. Yep. Lunch, you had chicken breast in a wrap. Again, we did double wraps because for you, it's easy on the job site to pull out a wrap and eat it versus trying to fucking heat up a beef mince and a rice or whatever it may be. You had a protein shake and fruit. You had big fillet steak, Well, I found out later that it was fucking, what have you been eating?
Scotch fillet.
Scotch fillet, Scotch fillet, you bastard. I always say I fillet, but fair enough. You got away with Scotch fillet.
Yeah.
Spud light potatoes, which is the best way to get a ton of volume on your plate for low calories, and unlimited green veg. And then you had a couple of snacks at night where you did ice creams and frozen fruits and all that kind of jazz. So by eating those same meals every day, as you can see, no two meals are the same, but it's the same meals every day. That builds consistency and that gets your metabolism working really well. It's when people want to have a different breakfast every day, a different snack every day, different lunch every day, different dinner every day, and try to keep the calories the same, which is almost impossible. Yeah. That's where people just get, the lead just goes too far.
Yeah.
You know, there's a quote that I've posted many times that the biggest fat loss hack is eating the same thing every day.
I tell people that's what I've been doing, and they're like, oh, I could never do that. And I'm like, it's actually the easiest part of it, mate. It's so easy to like meal prep, doing the groceries, getting stuff organised and eating the foods. And like you said, you've organised this meal plan and set it out for me, so it's so easy for me. Like even when I stop doing this, I'll still be eating that. I'll still be eating that. I think the only thing I might change is every now and then I'll have a different dinner with the family, just because it's the wife does so much cooking, but she's cooking meals for, even though my kids now, like my daughter's 3, she would eat 200 gram eye fillet for dinner, man. She loves it. Like,
I want to mess with her when she grows up, man.
She loves the steak. It's costing me a bloody fortune, but yeah, she's on the
well, how much are you saving from not going to the pub every week, though, pal?
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. I think at the end of the day, the cost wise, like buying breakfast on the way to work, buying smoko at say 10:30, 11. In my mind, I'd be like, I'm not going to be able to get through lunch and get all the way home. So I'd stop at say it's 1 o'clock, go to the shop, get something to eat. Every time you go to the shop, you're getting drinks. They're like $5 a hit. Like I could be spending $60-$70 a day, I reckon, just at the shop.
Yeah.
And instead now I've got like a chicken wrap, some eggs in a wrap, and it's like, and basically, it's probably I'm probably saving like dead set $40-$50 a day, I reckon, just by not going to the takeaway shop every day.
Yeah.
And for every tradie, majority of tradies, they are in exactly the same boat. Like that, those takeaway shops and that are so expensive. Yeah. But they'll turn around and then they'll probably go to the pub and drink 6 beers and chuck 100 on a horse at bloody Shartin or something. But then they'll turn around and say, well, it's too much money to spend on a rebuild or something. Like,
on a coach.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Or on steak every day.
It's crazy, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But in the same token, the steak, I would go and buy a big Clivax Scotch fillets from
like a butcher.
Yeah, from the butcher or from the bulk frozen food place they'd have them fresh in the fridge, and it would be say $60 or $70 for this thing, and I'd get 15 or 16 steaks out of it.
Yeah.
So put them in the freezer, put them in the fridge, have them.
Yeah.
So not as if you have to spend bulk money. Like every now and then I'd treat myself and go to the nice butcher in town and get myself a nice
bit of wagyu.
Nice wagyu or Scotch fillet or something, just to mix it up.
Yeah.
Mix up my steaks. Some nights I'd have a few rump steaks, a few eye fillet steaks, just like I said with my chicken wrap, have a little bit of different sauce, some different coatings and stuff on it, mix up the ingredients, make them a bit different.
Yeah, that's it. It's just creating variety within the same foods is the best way to do it.
That's all I was doing, and it's I dead set. I go to bed early so I can get up and get to the gym and have my smoothie and get into my egg wrap, and it's
And the thing is,
you definitely nailed that. You nailed my meal plan. That's how I'll give you that one. Yeah, it's been
well, you're not the first tradie I've worked with, mate.
Yeah,
you're not the first business owner I've worked with. Tradie, I've just had such a larger test pool to know what I'm doing. Why are we the best? Because I've worked relentless for 7 years to get the fucking best results. And I'm competitive, and I don't compete in bodybuilding anymore or the pro wrestling stuff I used to do. So what's there to compete in? It's to be the best fucking coach, to get the best results for blokes on the planet. Like that's my fucking result. And it's not just about getting the best and fastest results on the planet. It's getting them in a sustainable way where the individual can walk away from us rebuilt and can maintain their shape or within a couple of kilos of the shape that they got with us because they've upgraded their lifestyle. And that's the thing. People are always shocked at how good I get the meal plan. I'm like, mate, I do fucking 20 of them a week. For 7 years, if I'm not good at it, there's something wrong, isn't there?
Yeah, bloody hell.
So
you wouldn't still be doing it if you're
look, I also think the other thing that's understated, especially as a business owner, you've got enough fucking decisions to make. Yeah. You need to think about what you want to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every night, or would you rather just know what it is? Like,
it's tell you what, it has saved a lot of arguments in our house, because it's one thing when I'd always get home and the wife would be like, "What do you want for dinner?"
Yeah, there you
like,
go.
Mate, don't ask me that question.
Just cook me something.
I just got home, mate.
I have no decision.
That's what I mean. I don't care. I couldn't
Decisions
care less,
left,
mate.
yeah.
I've made 1,000 decisions today at work.
Exactly.
You just I'll eat basically anything. So
that's the thing. As a high performing male and a business owner, you don't want to be thinking about what you...
No, it makes it so...
You know, and even these coaches that give out like macros and say, "Oh, just make it up yourself."
Yeah.
You know, here's your calories, here's your protein, hit this on MyFitnessPal. You just end up with decision fucking fatigue, and you end up just throwing it out the window and go, "I'll just get Guzman and Gomez on the way home. It's high protein, whatever."
Well, yeah, my brother had... my younger brother, he got a meal plan off someone that you've just mentioned before, and the options in it, man, it's crazy. Like his meals for... There's all these main meals for dinner with all these fancy... Like they were fancy meals. Like there would have been like 20 different ingredients and all this stuff and I'm just thinking, it's just how's your shopping bill going to go from the shop? And then it's going to take so long to actually cook and do that. And then you've got to decide what you're going to have this week. There's 4 different options for lunch. Yeah. 4 different options for tea. How many times are you going to have that? Flipping them all about. Like it's
retarded. It's built as if everyone's an influencer and has the whole day to prep meals for the camera.
Who's got time for that?
It's nuts.
And if you're running a business, you don't have time to do that.
Well, the thing is too, like you just have to have a look at that individual's results. He's got a few chicks that have done well and a couple of blokes, and that's it.
Yeah.
He's been around for as long as I have. You know, if that way worked, you would literally have more results than anyone.
Yeah.
That way doesn't work. It can work for some people, and again, I think that's better suited to women. I think women do want to have options with snacks, and I feel like this today. How many times do you hear your missus say, "I feel like this"?
I know.
I don't think men feel like foods as much as women. I mean, that could be a very sexist comment, but
I don't know.
Obviously emotionally we're just created a bit differently. I think men prefer function, ease, simplicity, especially us men that are driven and moving forward and building a business. We don't feel like, Doritos and fucking cheese and loaded fries and like
sour cream.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
And the problem with a lot of those meals too, mate, sorry to cut you off, is they're pretty high in calories because there's lots of fats and sauces and toppings on it.
Yeah.
So the quantity size for a big bloke like you would be fuck all.
Yeah.
So you'd eat that little loaded fries gimmick meal or Mexican fucking reverse.
There's no volume in it.
No volume at all.
Again soon, like straight after.
Exactly.
And even I spoke with you. I think I spoke to one of the other coaches as well about like the chicken wrap option for me is good because with a salad, if you compare that salad to rice or something, like I'll be eating for the calories I was on, I'd probably get like 40 grams of rice or something.
Yeah, a tablespoon of rice. Yeah.
Instead, I'm getting I'm filling this wrap full of salad, mate, and it's making me full all day. You know what I mean? So instead of having potato, if you had pasta or something, like I've got this, I would have had this pissy little bit of pasta or something. So like got high volume for the calories that I was putting in, which made me feel full and which.
It makes fat loss easy.
It makes it easy.
Because the fat's falling off you and you're like, oh, I'm not even hungry.
I know.
This is so easy. And all I'm doing is lifting 5 days a week, taking a couple of Supps, looking after common sense, like sleep, stress, and hydration. It's common sense. Everyone should be doing that anyway. And voila, here we are.
Yeah.
Best shape of your life.
People are just saying to me, like, oh, you must be like working so hard and it's like not eating much food. You need to eat food. Now they're saying how lean I'm looking right now. And they're like, man, you need to eat some more food. And I'm like, mate, I'm eating plenty of food.
Yeah,
I'm actually being put.
Tell them what you had for breakfast this morning, mate.
Yeah.
150 grams of jasmine white rice, 300 grams of steak. Was it 250 steak?
Yeah.
A good cup of orange juice.
I snuck about 300 grams of steak in this morning.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't blame you. Fair enough.
Dead set.
All right, well, let's talk a bit more about the business. I mean, we've got, we're 50 minutes in and we've spoken a lot about calories and macros and your experience with the rebuild. So with the business, mate, was that something that you always kind of knew you were going to do, or did you like quit school early and do an apprentice and then kind of gradually fall into it, or how did it all work for you?
Nah, so I went the long way around. I was a pretty rough kid. I was out of home at probably 15, 16, around that age, and then basically just couch surfing for a lot of time, and ended up getting myself an apprenticeship. Had about 3 different apprenticeships on the way through, but lost my license and was just a bit off the rails when I was younger. And then I moved to Hobart, moved up to Queensland, was just mucking around, and then same thing. I just got to this point in when I was like, I need to do something with my life. I'm just wasting away. I've probably just wasted like 5 or 6 years already just doing stuff all, to be honest. So ended up moving from the Gold Coast back to Tassie and did a adult roofing apprenticeship, and then just started getting locked in, bought my first property and renovated that. And,
what age were you when you did your adult roofing apprenticeship?
I was about 24, I think, when I started.
Yeah, it's decent, yeah.
Yeah, so I was pretty old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say old, but it's decent as far as starting an apprenticeship, isn't it?
As far as starting goes, yeah.
So 28 done, and then you bought an investment property that you worked on?
Yeah, bought my first house and sort of spent all my spare time renovating that, and then was still doing my apprenticeship sort of thing. So working, just working to the bone, mate, just trying to catch up, basically get ahead. When I moved back down to Tassie, like I was in debt up to my eyeballs. The only thing I owned was like this $1,200 Lance that I drove from Queensland down. That the alternator broke in it, man, and I had to keep swapping batteries all the way down to Melbourne. Like it was a shit show. Like, and I just had nothing. I was way in debt. So yeah, I just woke up to myself and thought I need to do something here and like get my shit together. So yeah, went and did the apprenticeship, and then basically been roofing ever since. And yeah, my mate, my great mate James Dawson, he's also a roofer, was my old boss, and he sort of gave me a bit of a push and said, yeah, you need to probably go and do it for yourself, basically, like take the leap. And I was probably his best worker at the time too, so I was good of him. And yeah.
I'll say.
So went and did it, mate, and then just basically had a couple of contractors ring me up, like big contractors, and it was only just like me and one apprentice at the time, and he's got like 50, 100 houses for me. He's like, can you do these? And I was like, yeah, I'll just do them, mate.
Yeah,
I'll find a way to do them. And that was basically took off from there. So I was
good on you.
Just hooked. Yeah, she was hectic, mate. 7 days a week. Had to buy a work ute for the young fella. I remember having to pay the first material bill, and I was down to before I got paid from the builder, I was down to like $300 in my whole life. Like, and it was just kickstarting this business. And I was like,
how old were you then?
I would have been about 20. How long have I been going? 5 years or something. So yeah, I would have been about 30 or 31 or something.
There you go. It's pretty scary to be 31 and only $300 in your bank account.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. I was.
Yeah.
I had I wasted a lot of time. So I've been, like I said, I've been going hammer and tong trying to catch up. So, and I've caught up. We're going well now. So buying a few properties and flipping them, and I've built a few speckies, like maybe 5 or 6 of them, and got a few investment properties and stuff, and made some coin along the way. So
great.
But it's been from hard work, like just literally people are always like, I work Saturdays, Sundays, mate. The weather does dictate a lot to me because of roofing. So if I can get out there on a good day on a weekend, it is what it is, mate.
Just work when you can work,
Got to get the jobs done and get them out the window, out the door. So
people are quick to say that you're lucky.
And
I've always said that luck is preparation meets timing.
Yeah.
So you were obviously prepared to work. You had done your apprenticeship. You were there. You were ready. Timing, someone said, got 100 builds. 50 builds, was it?
Yeah.
100 builds?
Had a couple of different builders, probably 100 for one and 50 for the other. So
there you go.
Three roofs a week.
But if you weren't prepared, doesn't matter if that opportunity had been given to you.
And if you don't want to take the risk.
That as well. There's an element of backing yourself, which a lot of people can't do. It's interesting, man, because I started this business at 31 as well, and I had fuck all money. I had no money at all. Same as you, like I was just living, week to week. I had an apartment in Doncaster, but the first coach that I hired was $18,000. Like people think we're expensive, we're a couple of grand. $18,000 it was, and he's like, and I said, I don't really have that, and he's like, well, how are you going to learn how to do this without me? And I was like, fuck, I'm not. And he's like, oh look, we can offer you a pay plan. We can do $1,800 a month. And I'm like, I don't make that. And my mortgage is due. We can do 1,800 months. And, what you learn from what we teach you, you can use to pay back the thing. And I was like, and he's like, what's your other option? And I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I was like, Tony Robbins says, to take the island, you burn the boats. Like if you're either going to die or you're going to take the island. So you burn the ships, right? And I was like, this makes sense. And that just forced me to get good, basically. Like you say yes to 100 builds, mate. You got to figure out business real fucking quick, right?
Yep, you got to do it. And I've that's literally how I live my life. Like you can't get too comfortable, mate. You need to have something driving you along the way. And so if I get money, I'll invest it and spend it, because otherwise I feel like I just get lazy. You need something to drive you along. So, and like I said, nothing good comes without sacrifice.
I agree, man.
And so I don't mind working hard to and doing it, because I feel like so many people they just want something to happen for them, and they want to get all this stuff, but they're not willing to sacrifice anything.
Well, that's the thing. People don't understand balance. You know, I heard very early on, luckily in my 20s when I was trying the business before this, which was, you know, network marketing, or pyramid selling as people call it, that, you know, the most successful and wealthy, which means, as you know, like we were talking about this before, it's like health is wealth, like health is the ultimate wealth. But to be healthy, you need to have a little bit of extra money. You can't be, you know, week to week and scrounging around, you know, stressed about spending money on a doctor's appointment or a supplement or a massage or a specialist or whatever it may be. Yeah. So they work together. But anyway, he was saying that the people that kind of get to wealth at the end, they understand balance. They understand when you're young, it's better to live out of balance in terms of 7 days a week, like what you and I did for 5 years, to then enjoy a bit more balance later on because you've created it, which is kind of where, you know, you and I are stepping into as business owners, you know, with the 40s and 50s coming with young families, etc. You know, because we lived in that period of time how most people wouldn't. Highly stressed, in debt, risky, out of balance. We're going to get that extra balance later on that most people don't do. Yep. Most people in their 20s and early 30s, they protect their weekend and their social calendar and the sporting calendar, and they protect it with their life, and then they point at you and me and every other business owner that's done well for themselves and say, oh, you're lucky, mate. Yeah. It's like, no, I just prioritized getting ahead when you prioritized balance. Yep. And that's how I've looked at balance personally, and I heard that early days in that. And I think even for you, like just listening to your story, you know, at 24, for you to realize that you were, you know, kicking your life down the toilet and being a dickhead, that's very young, bro. Like 24 is young to have that level of awareness. A lot of people never realize that they're being idiots. People carry on like that when they're in their 30s and 40s.
There's an age around there somewhere that if the penny doesn't drop by a certain age, it's not dropping. It's gone.
It's usually 40. Is what they say, but I mean the Australia culture is so tall poppy and so anti-entrepreneurship that it's well before 40 for us. Yeah. But a lot of them will say that it's 40.
Yeah, right. She's very late at 40.
But they reckon, like, this is going back to Napoleon Hill stuff. He wrote Think and Grow Rich. He wrote a book in the early 1920s. It's like Personal Development 101. He says up until 40, your hormones just distract you as a male because you're just too horny. You're just focused on impressing chicks and, you know, betting and drinking with your mates, and you're just too much of a larrikin when your hormones are peaking. Yeah. He's like, it's very hard to kind of make money before you're 40 for that reason. Yeah, right. But obviously, you know, now with different opportunity vehicles and things like that, people are kind of doing it earlier, but that's why they say 40. Yeah, right. But for you, man, I mean, again, 24 is nuts. Like if you go to the Burley Pav tonight and have a look at, you know, meet some 24-year-olds. Oh, I know, mate. And tell me whether you think
I've got some of them working with me. And, you know, like it doesn't matter the amount of times I sit there and say to them, every mistake you're making right now, I've done just that. And what I'm sitting here telling you now is, I wish I didn't do that.
Yeah, you're wasting your best years.
I'm trying to say to them, like, don't go and get the car loan, mate. You don't need it. Don't do this. Like, don't go and, like, some of the things. And I'm just like, some of my apprentices, as they go through their years and they get pay rises, and I'm trying to say to them, just, you're living comfortable on the second year wage, mate. So all the third year money, go and put into a bank account that you can't see and just let it stack up, and you'll be so grateful for it later on.
Deposit for your first house.
Like you can't. That's what I'm saying. But like, things that I wish I did, but it doesn't sink in a lot of the time.
Sometimes people have to learn through their own mistakes.
I'm trying.
Well, that's it.
I mean, they do, mate. Like, honestly, it's funny that you say about being horny, because the only time I've ever seen a bloke change like their habits is for a woman. Like they'll break a habit for a woman like in a heartbeat. Man.
Yeah, correct. There you go.
Won't they? Like they'll give up the piss. They'll stop going to the pub. They'll do all these different things like for a woman, but not for themselves.
Not for themselves,
because they want to do it because it's the right thing to do, or because it's they're not getting ahead or anything. But as soon as a woman steps into their life and tells them, like, they need to do this, it's like they drop it like a school bag, like it's gone.
It's interesting, man. I never thought of it like that, but now that you said it, it makes sense.
I've witnessed it firsthand. Numerous times.
So what's next for you, mate? You've obviously, you know, you built your business to a point where you're at the moment. You've now conquered your health, so you rebuilt. You're sub 10%. You understand that, you know, cardio is not the best thing in the world to get to this point. But now that you're here, you can do cardio. Resistance training, hopefully you fall in love with that. You fall in love with most of the Supps and the foods and the things. What's next for you, you know, with your health, with your business, with your family? What's on the horizon for you?
Yeah, so the fitness and the health and stuff, it'll just keep ticking along. But yeah, I'm not.
You're addicted. You're hooked.
Yeah, I'm pretty hooked on it at the moment. So,
how you look today on camera, mate? How can you not be fucking hooked?
Keep pushing along with that. So,
yep.
I guess, like you said, I'm still in that age where, as far as my business and stuff goes, it's just keep the wheels ticking over. You know, I'm trying to move a bit sort of into property and stuff, and buy as many as I sort of can before sort of get to that sort of 40, 45 year age. So can have a decent sort of portfolio there, something for us to be able to retire on a bit, maybe a bit earlier and get set up. So I'm not a big believer in super. I don't know if it's, I think by the time I get to that age, man, it'll probably be like 75 will be the super age. They just keep upping it. And
well, look what they're doing to it now, mate. If you got over 3 million, they're taxing you on unrealised gain.
It's just taxed on tax.
Nah, so, you can't be putting your faith in the government anymore.
No, absolutely not. So yeah, I'm just trying.
Yep. Smart.
Like I said, I'm working hard at the moment to try and get us set up for the future, just to make sure that my family's all taken care of. So that's basically what we're knuckling down at the moment. But like I said, we've got 2 young girls to look after, so it's pretty full on, and trying to have a third at the moment. So trying to get that boy come out. Got 2 young girls, and they're amazing. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a little Zane Murphy running around.
Yeah, for sure.
So see how we go, mate.
Someone to pass the empire down to, mate.
Yeah, that's it.
Keep the family name alive.
Yeah, bloody hell.
All that stuff that us alpha males dream of, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Very cool.
There we go.
Awesome. All right. So if someone's in Tassie and they want, they want to kind of suss you out and whatnot, where do they find your business? Is it on LinkedIn? Is it on Instagram? Is it a website?
Yeah, we're on Facebook. Don't do a hell of a lot of advertising, to be honest. It's around. You Google us for Zane Murphy Roofing, and we're on there. We do pretty much all aspects of roofing. So we do sort of stick to the brand new sort of jobs at the moment. It's just so busy, like it's crazy at the moment. Like the building industry still down there is still going pretty strong. So that's sort of our niche at the moment. And we're flat out. Obviously the weather, man, it's crazy down there at the moment. It's just been relentless.
Has it? Yeah.
The shocking weather.
We had a storm here today on the Gold Coast, which was nuts.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It's today actually down there was beautiful weather, and I've got on a plane and flew to the Gold Coast, and then there's a storm here and it's pissing rain. So
he messaged me saying, "I'm at the Gold Coast, if you can call it that." I was like, "Bro, come on, man! You're coming in from Tassie, like."
Stitched up. Yeah, I think I brought it with me. I haven't got away from the bloody.
Well, hopefully you're here for 3 days, so you got a decent chance.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
That should be good.
Yeah. All right. And as far as the rebuild goes, mate, like, would you say that, like we starting out, did you ever think you'd get in this shape? Like, is this the kind of shape that you kind of visualize yourself getting into, or is it?
I don't think this good.
Yeah.
But like, it's hard for yourself until you sort of see this sort of shape. You don't, like, after my first 12 weeks, like mentally, I thought that I was in really good shape. Do you know what I mean? You don't, and then after my second block, I thought that I was like, oh, that's like next level shape. But then the longer that I keep going, the better. And now looking at this, I'm sort of like, I wouldn't have thought that I was going to be like looking like this. Do you know what I mean? Like you're all sort of, it's all just in your mind, isn't it?
It is, dude.
Just get comfortable with it. And then, especially if you're without a coach, mate, it's so easy to get comfortable. As soon as you have a little win or something, you end up rewarding yourself a little bit. Yep. And it's a snowball effect, and you just ruin your progress so easy. Like without the check-ins and stuff, it's really helpful just to keep you on track all the time. Yeah. And keep the progress. Yeah.
Front of mind.
Keep the momentum going, mate.
Yeah, momentum, 100%. Yeah. And it's interesting, mate. Like I start every rebuild with every client with the goal to get them here next to me, right? Like, I mean, my ideal business is I'm doing one of these a week, So I've got a back and trap partner every Friday and I'm flying someone in from wherever the fuck they're from to do this, which is 52 a year. That's decent. Last year I think we did, we would have done over 12, so we've done over 1 a month. Yep. But anyway, I start every rebuild with that in mind for the client, and I let them know how many kilos of fat they've got. Until then, I give them an estimated weekly amount if they're going to be adherent, and that's in my mind, that's in the co-coach's mind, that's in all of our marketing, all of our stuff in there. Not everyone gets there, unfortunately. A lot of people do get through their first 12 weeks and drop 12, 13, 15 kilos like you did, which is still a fantastic result. Yep. But like you said, they talk themselves into near enough's good enough, and they can't wait to have a splurge meal, and they go off and do what they go off and do, right? What was it for you, do you think, that kind of guided you to not be that? Like you said, you thought you looked great, and you did compared to your 12 weeks ago. But what was it? Was it something that your co-coach said at the time? Was it like the YouTube thing that you wanted to do? Did you want to get competitive and come and work out with me? What was it that got you there?
Well, there's a few different factors, but like obviously my mates had I told them that I was going to get sort of down around the 95 kilo mark, and I was coming from like up near 115 or something, and there obviously I was saying, no way, you're never going to be able to do it. So I hadn't got there after the first block, and I was like, I wanted to get down. But yeah, even speaking to the coaches, they were just reiterating to me that it's like to get properly rebuilt, we hadn't had a chance to really up my cows to where you'd want to up them to, because we were dropping so much weight, and we were just slowly building them up. So they sort of said, like, to do it properly, mate, you need another block sort of thing. So
we're not done yet.
And which we did. We weren't done. So we kept pushing and kept building them a bit more and got them to a bit better spot. But then after that, like I said, there was a little bit of a flat period coming into that second block where you feel like you're not really doing anything, but the changes are just happening gradually. And then after, say, 4 or 5 weeks, you look at yourself in the mirror, you do your 6-week before and after photos and you compare them again and you're like, wow,
holy cow, yeah.
Like, I can't see this happening, but it is still happening. Like, yeah. So, it was just more about, I don't want to be doing the yo-yo thing again. So stick on it. Now I'm just like, it's locked in. That's what I'm doing. So.
Yeah. Well, I think you're locked in because it's addictive. Like doing this, you feel good, you look good. And like we were talking about earlier, you don't have that foggy brain. You don't have that kind of like, oh, I'm too tired to think about this and do that, which obviously, helps you with your business and it helps you be a better dad. And it just helps you feel better in your own self, that you've got that energy and you've got that mental bandwidth. So all those things are addictive. Yeah. So why would you want to stop is how I look at it.
Yeah.
And, you don't need to be a coaching client of ours forever. You can obviously, sign up to the app and just use the app for fuck all a week to continue that momentum and continue that accountability and the rest of it. But it is addictive. Like, it's addictive to look and feel your best. And men need to progress. This as a business owner. Yeah. Like at 24, you had that come to Jesus conversation with yourself. What are you doing, mate? You're pissing and whatever and partying your life away. You're being a fucking rat bag. Let's progress. And every time you progress in business and as a man in life and family, that's fulfilling. Yep. Men need to be working on something. Men need to be progressing. Otherwise, they're dangerous to themselves. They fall into vices, whether it's drinking, gambling, drugs, porn, gaming, whatever it is. So I feel like that's a big part of it. It's the healthy addiction to the progress.
Yep. Yeah. No, 100%. I'm addicted. But it's like even I said down there, I'm like, I don't know. I wish we could have maybe cut this down a bit further or something, but it's
leaner than this.
Yeah, but I just don't know where you get I don't know.
We can keep going. 2 weeks, two more weeks on this 400 drop. You'll be absolutely fucking peeled. That's what I was thinking this morning, man. When I got up, I'm like, do it.
If I was to do this for another 2 weeks, where would this go?
Yeah. Well, look, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
We only did it for 3 or 4 days, and it was it was ridiculous.
Yeah. I would keep doing it. Don't do it to the point where your metabolism punishes. Like, I'm not taking any more off you. Like, you're on base level for you.
Yep.
I'd even want to put a bit of potato back in your dinner because you took that out completely.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing that we do talk about, and Coach E-Man especially, he's like, look, man, get leaner than what you actually want to maintain. Yep. So then when we start building calories back up, you actually get to where you want to maintain, and you can maintain that.
Yeah.
So like, if this is the look that you want to maintain, let's get you leaner than that, and then we can reverse back to this.
Yep.
Whereas if we start reversing now, you will get a little softer than what you are now. So maybe that's answered your question for you, bud.
Yeah, I think that's really what,
Yeah. Awesome. All right, dude. Congrats on the rebuild. 21 kilos as a business owner with young kids is fantastic. A team of 8. It's even more impressive when business owners do it, because obviously I'm one of them. I've got a team of about 8 as well, a bit more than 8. But so I know the stresses that go into that and how difficult it would be. Like, it's challenging for me to maintain this physique with a business, like trying to get it from 21 kilos behind the 8 ball like you were. It's just next level. It really impresses me when the guys see it through and get it done, because we have the formula. We just need the fucking people to walk the walk, which you've done. So congrats. Any final words to anyone that maybe follows me who's just still a bit on the fence and still sussing out and still waiting for the right time, or a little skeptical or whatever?
Yeah, you just got to jump in, mate. It's like I said, it's only hard for a few weeks until you get into the groove of it, and then you'd be so surprised like how actual easy it is just to do, just to stick to it and just be patient and consistent with it. And you're never going to regret it, are you? Like, you're never going to look in the mirror and be like, oh, I wish I hadn't have done that, or I wish I had had that beer a couple of weeks ago, or you know what I mean? Like, I wish I had have eaten that pizza a few weeks ago. When you're looking in the mirror and you're like looking at $1 million, you're not That's not what you're thinking, is it? Like, it's crazy. So, but I'd like to thank you, and started with Coach E-Man and then jumped over to CJ. So, thanks for all your help, and it's funny. It's been awesome. Feel $1 million.
No, my pleasure, man. You fucking blew the cameraman away. What did he say? He said, something about being gay, didn't he? he said, I'd be in trouble if I was gay or something like that. I think you blew him away. And he's filmed probably about 6 to 8 of my rebuilds. Yeah, because I used to fly down to Melbourne and we used Joe. Did Joe do your call?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So Joe's in sales, head of onboarding. He was filming for me just when we were still. When I wasn't as can afford to just pay cameramen and do all that stuff, which I can do now. Back then I couldn't. So he was filming. But yeah, Sam's done about 8 now.
Yep.
So, if he's saying that to you, it's impressive. So one last question, mate, which obviously I'm moving towards, mostly business owners next year. Sometimes when people hear our price tag, they kind of balk a little bit. And I don't think it's because we, overcharge per se. I think it's just a little bit more than what the general market charge.
Yep.
Because, and again, I'll let you explain this, but we offer a bit more than what the general coach does. Like I'm talking to you about this, the size of my business, I'm still doing the meal plans. You've got 23 years experience of somebody that's writing up a meal plan for you based on a full intake form, what time you wake up, what time you go to bed, your snacking habits, your lifestyle, what you do for work, how much muscle mass you've got, how much fat you're carrying, your age, your bio age, your metabolic baseline. I'm looking at it all and I'm still doing it. And obviously we have co-coaches that are on the phone with you. You've got access to us both on chat. You've got a pretty impressive app with video explainers, in-depth stuff on how to train, proper programming from somebody that knows how to do it. What would you say to someone that's like, it's too expensive? How can this guy possibly charge that much? What would you kind of say to them as somebody that's at the other end of it?
Well, I mean, I've sort of looked around and even before I got into yours, had a lot of them either, like, you might get the app with the workouts, you might get the nutrition and you pay for this bit and you pay for that bit, or you don't get the coach, or to get the coach you pay this much and you get, but this is the whole system. Like, there's no falling through the cracks. There's no, your nutrition is done. And like I said, for me, it was tailored so well that it's just, like, it's so easy to stick to. So it's actually tailor-made for me. I literally spoke to you one-on-one in the phone. Like, I didn't sign up and then just get handballed straight over to the next person down the line who says, answer these questions and here's your meal plan. Do you know what I mean? So you've tailor-made this meal plan, like, to a T, like, for me. And then the workouts, like, all those workout videos in there, like the tips and tricks from doing it yourself and, like activating the muscles and doing it certain ways and all that sort of stuff that's in there. Like, it's all broken down. It's not just a generic bloody, I've bought this app and I've had AI flick some, like, workouts in there and then I've sent it off to you. Like, that's not what it is. It's a tailor-made program. And then all this on top of having the coach check in once a week is, like, it keeps you compliant, mate, because you don't want to let them down.
Correct.
Like, you just don't want to let them down, and they're in the back of your mind no matter what. You look at a piece of chocolate on the table, or you look at, and it's almost like they're not even having, like, it's just, they're just in your mind. Like, knowing you've got that call at the end of the week, like, helps you stay consistent. So it's the full package. Like, it's not one bit here and one bit there. So and it's proven results. So like I said to you, at the end of the day, if somebody had to come to me and said, do you want to pay $5,000 and in 6 months time you'll look like that? Well, like, I would have done it straight away, wouldn't I? Like, especially the way I was feeling at the time. Like, you're so overweight, feeling like shit and tired and that sort of stuff. So
at the end of the day, for business, because I studied business a lot before I started this. I was doing network marketing. So it's a great course in self-development. Pyramid selling, it doesn't work very well in Australia, especially as a bloke. If you're a woman trying to sell shampoo and shit, you can get away with it. But as a bloke trying to sell health supplements, it was an absolute nightmare. But I learned a lot. And one of the biggest things I learned was, like, to run a successful business, it has to be a fair value exchange. What you're selling the result that you're selling, whether it's a polished roof for you or a reno, renovations, whatever it may be, it has to, the quality of what you get has to be worth $1. And I'm always big on, I want to get the guy a result, physical result, how they're feeling, what they've learnt, their mindset, in alignment with what I charge. And that's what I pride myself on. You can go and get an online coach for $90 a week, but you're going to get a $90 a week result. You're going to get a dog shit AI app generated bit of shit from someone that doesn't even know what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
And you're going to get some meal plan template that they give to everybody and say, hey, figure this out. You might get an email once a week, or you might have an AI bot now check in with you because they're available, I promise you. AI clones and bots and shit, that's all in the fitness industry. It's all there. You're not going to get a proper co-coach that actually knows what they're doing, who's done it themselves, which is the only people I hire. And you're not going to get a guarantee. We put a money guarantee on it. We put a 10 kilo guarantee on it.
Yeah.
So we take the risk out. You know, if you come and do a rebuild with us and you don't get the result on paper, you have to follow the program. Obviously, you can't go and eat fish and chips and then get your money back. So that's how I've kind of prided myself. But we just find the marketplace sometimes are just like, oh, online coach, I don't want to spend that. It's like, well, like you said, if you want the result, is the result worth the price?
Yeah. That's what I mean.
You know, like for you've done 3 blocks now. You've spent a bit of money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an investment though, isn't it?
Is it worth the result? Like, are you upset that you spent that money or are you happy?
Absolutely not. Like I said, it's an investment. And if those people are probably the people that they don't trust themselves to commit to it. Like if you actually commit properly to it, like I said, the amount of money you're going to save on drinking piss and bloody eating shit foods and doing this and doing that, like it'll actually outweigh it and it won't be that expensive for you, mate. Like, yeah.
And it's so interesting. Like, again, being a business owner, I can talk to you about this stuff. But back when I charged less, I got worse results.
Yeah.
Same product. It was actually, slightly better product. I used to get somebody to film me 2 exercises each week and give them feedback for fucking 24 weeks, right? Across 100 clients. Can you imagine how hard I used to work on webinars? I don't do that anymore because it killed me. Yeah. I used to do that. So it's the same service you've got. I used to do the check-in calls each week myself. I used to review 2 videos, chats, unlimited chats all the time, less money, worse results. Yeah. Because it's very easy to cheat on your meal plan when you're charging someone $100 a week. Well, they're like, $100 a week, mate, I'll win that at the pub tomorrow. Who cares? I've wasted a week. It doesn't matter. I know. And then they do that again and again and again and again. And guess what? Your 3 months is up and you got a shit fucking result because you didn't commit. Whereas if you spend a bit more than what is comfortable and you invest in it,
well, you got skin in the game, mate.
Ultimate skin in the game is money. Paying more than what you want for a coach is the best thing you can do to get you a result. Yeah. Oh, that's convenient for you to say, Mike, because you're the one that's making the money. Sure, but I'm the one that's getting the results.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why we get the results, pal.
Yeah.
You know, and in the online space, it is cowboy city out there. Like I've tried to hire so many business owners to hone in on one particular space. So you have openly said that the rebuild is everything. It's nutrition, it's mindset, it's identity shift, it's training, it's accountability, it's community, it's all of it in one. I've just tried to get people to help me with content, for example. And they've made guarantees, huge claims. 50 grand was the ticket price. And they were shit house. They didn't guarantee nothing. They didn't make changes. So people out there don't realize how good they've got it for what we charge and how much work we put in and how good we are and how much we know what we do. It's a very unique opportunity to work with us in this capacity while it's available compared to what else is out there. A lot of people just don't know how good they've got it.
People are just very skeptical, and it takes, like I explained earlier, my mates, it took them 6 or 7 months to this stage to look at what I've done and be like, I want to be doing that. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's amazing, isn't it?
I need to get on that, and they're like, why? Yeah. And then it's 7 months down the track, man. If they had to just jump straight in, and they'd probably be like feeling a million times better now.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's obviously very frustrating. You can tell I'm frustrated that there's so much shit in the industry that I have to compete against. Yeah, you know, and unfortunately, it's an attention economy, and you have to compete. So I'm just constantly thinking of ways. Like we keep doing this. Like if I just do this with clients every week for the next 5 years, how can anybody look at this business and say?
Well, I guess it's when you look at the results that you're getting, a lot of the results that a lot of these other guys are posting would be what my results were after the first block. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not getting the results after like the second, third, like to what we look like now, like sort of at this sort of body fat percentage and like rebuild. This will be a long-term sort of like you're done and dusted basically.
One and done. Yeah.
One and done. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, man. Let's leave it there. So you've kind of covered that for me. And it was great. It was awesome today. Did you look better than you expected?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit worried coming up. I was sort of
Everyone always is, bro. Everyone.
Yeah. But even just with like the carbon, like having a few carbs and carbon back up this morning, I was like, is this going to make me feel? But no, I could feel I was feeling pumped on the plane, like just after putting all those carbs in this morning and that. So
well, that's what you said. You said you had your steak and rice this morning, and you said, "Oh, rice has never tasted so good."
Yeah.
And then you said like you're getting veins and
I could feel that. It's like I could feel the carbs rushing through my body. Like,
yeah, amazing.
That's good.
Yeah, there's a science to it, man. We know what we're doing.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Oh man, it was a pleasure. Thanks for coming out.
No worries. Thanks for having me,
Let's get you out to Moo. I think you're having the best steak on the coast.
Bloody oath.
Well earned. All right, done.
All right,
Good man.
thanks, mate.
Thank you.